Hello and welcome. I'm Jeff Bonanno, and you are listening to the Do Something Nice podcast.
Do
something.
something. Do something nice.
Nice.
Do something nice.
Do something nice.
Do something nice.
Do something nice.
Welcome, my friend, and hello. This is the Do Something Nice podcast. How are you doing today? Working hard? Or is today just a lazy day? You know, I don't know about you, but I just can't wait until I get to have my next lazy day. We all need those from time to time, don't we? Sometimes, though, you wonder to yourself, will that day ever come? Well, for some, that day comes only after their last breath. And before that, they work their butt off. And for some of those individuals, they're doing that job because they have a mission. Something in their life drives them to work as hard as they do. And in today's story, I want to share an inspiring life of someone who dedicated his work and earnings to something that mattered so much to him. Let me take you to Pittsburgh, a place you may have heard of. But you may not have heard of the name Albert Lexie. Born in 1942 in a Monessen project, where at the time there was roughly a population of about 20,000 people. Albert grew up there, and by the 8th grade, he had created his first, very own shoe-shining box, which he made in shop class. And after dropping out of high school at that point, he was found already working by shining shoes. He would tote that wooden box around and earn his living. By 1981, Albert found himself providing that same shoe-shining service at a local hospital where every Tuesday and every Thursday morning, around 5:50 a.m., he would hop on a route that involved several buses just to show up and provide shoe-shining services to the hospital's patrons, a service he charged only $3 for. What makes this man so very special is that even though he only made about $10,000 a year, Albert set aside his tips with the goal of raising $100,000, which he donated to the Children's Free Care Fund. Albert Lexie only kept what he needed to survive, whereas the rest of that money were donated to that fund, which was about over 1/3 of his salary over the course of his career. And by the beginning of 2013, he had already donated over $200,000. Now, his good deeds did not go unrewarded, though. Aside from him being loved by so many, he was recognized by People magazine. On July 13th, 2010, People magazine and the Major League Baseball organization honored Albert Lexie during a Major League Baseball All-Star game, which was held in Anaheim, California. And before he received that recognition, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame for Caring Americans and awarded the 2006 Adult Caring Award presented by the Caring Institute. A portion of the announcement for Albert's award read as follows: Albert Lexie's donations for sick kids, quote, ensures all kids receive medical care regardless of a family's ability to pay. This goal accomplished, he set out to raise more funds than Jerry Lewis in his decades of telethons for muscular dystrophy. Albert's desire to help has strengthened his arm over the years and made him a hero among hospital staff. They know he represents a side of the hospital that is too often forgotten, that of charity." End quote. It goes on to say Albert was driven to go on with his selfless labor because he loved the kids very much and thinks they're very special. Over his 28 years of shoe shining, he also received a Jefferson Medal for Outstanding Citizen in 1997, a Community Service Award from the Donora Rotary, and the Western Pennsylvania chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals awarded him with an Outstanding Philanthropist Award in 2001. Mr. Lexie was also recognized on billboards by the Foundation for a Better Life, was featured on Oprah and The Jane Pauley Show, as well as CBS Evening News. Now, I mentioned Albert dropped out of school to start shining shoes and make a living, but in June of 1999, he was also awarded an honorary high school diploma from Manassas High School. And did you know there was a book that was actually written by the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh? That book is called Albert's Kids, The Heroic Work of Shining Shoes for Sick Children. At the time of this recording, I know there are still books available if you're interested in picking one up on Amazon. This man did so much in his lifetime, and all it was just the same thing over and over again. But he did it because he believed in something. He believed that there was a way to help support kids. His passion, his love for these kids, year after year, decade after decade, he put his passion into shining shoes for a mission to take care of kids that needed somebody to help them out. Sadly, though, Albert Lexie passed away on October 16th, 2018, at the age of 76 in Charleroi, Pennsylvania. And this week, the quote I would like to present to you is from Albert Lexie himself, which is, "I have many kids. I love my kids. It's important to help my kids," which is what he said when asked why he is so committed to make donations to the Children's Free Care Fund. Let me say that quote again. "I have many kids. I love my kids. It's important to help my kids." Now, obviously, the kids Albert supported were not all biologically his, but in his heart, they were still his kids. Do you have kids? Yes? No? Do you know somebody that has kids? Are you related to somebody that has kids? Have your kids grown up by now? Really, though, it doesn't matter. Look around you. Look at this world you and I live in. Our world, our community, our children. Many of whom may never get the same support that many of us may have gotten. And yet, they are our future. They will all be growing up in a world that we one day will be leaving behind. Albert knew this, and he was motivated to continue to help provide support for our kids. He believed this until his last breath. But his efforts have not been forgotten. In fact, you can continue to support yourself if you are interested. And more information on how to donate to the Children's Free Care Fund can be found at givetochildrens.org. Again, that website is givetochildrens.org. Also, if you would like to learn more about the Caring Award I mentioned, and maybe you have someone you would like to nominate for a future award, you can visit their website at caring.org. That website again is caring.org. And I too would also love to hear about anyone you would like to recognize who has done an amazing thing for someone else. If you do have a story to share, it may get aired on this podcast too. But we will never know unless you take a few moments and tell me about it. You can send it to me at my email address, which is mailbag@dosomethingnice.net. Again, that's mailbag@dosomethingnice.net. And tell me what this amazing person has done. And what about you? What good deeds are you doing that could seem supportive to someone else? Is there an organization you support? A fundraiser you like to give to? Maybe you just like to do something that makes someone else in your life smile. Honestly, with all that hatred and anger in the world, we need someone such as yourself to help make this world a better place. That is why I'm challenging you to do something nice for someone without being caught. Maybe it's you offering to pick up a friend's living room when they are sick, or have a cup of coffee waiting for a friend who you know could use it one day. Whatever you decide to do it without getting caught. Try it once this week, then maybe again next week. Maybe work yourself into a routine or make a game of it. See how often you can do it without getting caught in a month. Maybe 2 months. Maybe 3 months. Can you make it last a whole year? If you can, tell me about it. I'd love to hear how dedicated you are to this challenge. And if you do get caught, that's okay. Just tell them about the challenge and encourage them to pay it forward. Well, my friend, that's it for this episode, and I certainly hope it either added to your wonderful day or helped make your day better. Regardless if it's a lazy day or you are working hard. And if you would like to follow me on social media, you most certainly can on Facebook at Do Something Nice Podcast, on Twitter at Be a Nice Ninja, or you can also follow my personal Twitter account at Jeff Bonanno. You can also find this podcast at dosomethingnice.net. Thank you so much for listening in. Please help me by giving this podcast a rating on iTunes and leave your feedback wherever you may be listening to this podcast. And remember to do something nice and be a nice ninja. Take care.